Shocking comments from Democratic Congresswoman Ilhan Omar. She says the U.S. shares some of the blame for causing the political crisis in Venezuela.
A lot of the policies that we have put in place has kind of helped lead the devastation in Venezuela, and we've sort of set the stage for where we are arriving today. This particular bullying and the use of sanctions to eventually intervene and make regime change really does not help the people of countries like Venezuela.
But how much longer can the Maduro regime hang on? Let's bring in Mike Gonzalez. He's a senior fellow at the Heritage Foundation. Mike, good morning.
Hi, how are you?
Good. We should also add that in the wake of her comments as well, there's a Wall Street Journal report that says that actually that there has been a lot of communications between Juan Guaido and some within Maduro's cabinet. What do we know?
Well, I think that the Defense Minister Padrino has been trying to talk to some of the people in the legitimate government. That gives us a sense of the instability that is taking place within the inner circle of Maduro. Maduro himself had a plane on the tarmac ready to take him and his family to Havana until the Kremlin called him and told him to stay and told him not to leave. But I just want to say that that was so unseemly for a Representative Ilhan Omar, who sits in the House Foreign Affairs Committee, to say that, to say we have all seen what is taking place in the streets of Caracas. We have seen the regime running down people with armored cars, beating up people, beating up women. The people of Venezuela are taken to the streets. And for one of our elected leaders to say that we're bullying, when it's obviously the Cubans, the Russians, and the Chinese.
Right. And she's getting beat up on Twitter for defending a socialist dictator who, as you just said, is running over his own people, and he's starving them as well. But I want to move on to our position in all of this. You know, President Trump, the vice president, have been very clear. If we need to step in, we will, with all means necessary. Those comments coming yesterday from the president last night on Fox Business. What is the appropriate response, and when from the United States, especially considering Russian interference?
Well, obviously, the U.S. government is going to keep all options on the table, as they have said, but I don't think they really do plan to intervene militarily. You know, Vladimir Putin, who's our adversary here, as in every other part of the world, he'd love nothing more than for us to be caught in a quagmire in South America. This is a Cuban caused Venezuelan problem. The Venezuelan people are taking the right steps to liberate themselves. They're taking to the streets. We have always supported, ever since John Quincy Adams said we would always support the people against tyranny all over the world. But it doesn't mean that we're the world's policemen. And I don't think there's a need at this moment, nor, we're not going to go in, I don't think. The Venezuelan people are taking matters into their own hands.
Well, maybe it should be a global response. I mean, nearly 50 countries support Juan Guaido as the leader of Venezuela. So Maduro's time and his days may be numbered. We're going to follow it. Mike, thank you very much for being here.
Thank you.